Yes, recording has started. Perfect. So I'll just quickly tell all the guests. Deepak is here. Sham is here. 1 second. Suyog is also here. Perfect, gentlemen. You guys are on the screen. Quickly, you guys can start. Maybe Suyog can go first, then Deepak, and then Sham. Quickly introduce about yourself. How long you have been doing this partnership? Your expertise, and then let's get started. Over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Sehajat, and everyone. Good morning. Sorry, I can't see all of your names. So my name is Suyog Wagmare, and currently I am associated with ThreadCorp as a regional head. So coming to the partnership thing, we like I am quietly doing it from 3.5 to 4 years. Okay, and major chunk of the revenue which comes from my company from my side is from the partnerships. Okay, close to 50%. Okay, so without wasting time, I'll just start with the presentation. Let me know if you can view my screen or not. Shahjad, is it visible to you?
Yeah. Suyog, can you just wait for a second? Let Sham and Deepak introduce, and then we'll get started.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Sham, over to you.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. I'm Sham Shah. I currently work as a GTM engineer, and my experience for partnerships goes on since the last 5 years across different domains. And today I want to thank Shahjad and everybody for joining. And at the same time, I would like to share my agenda would be to kind of share my personal journey of how I scaled pilot partnership program from zero to revenue, because I believe a lot of people here would kind of benefit from my experience. So I believe Suyog and Deepak have great experience, and they'll talk about more about what the partnerships are. I will just touch base on how my experience kind of relates to these partnership topics that we're gonna talk about today. So thank you so much everybody.
Perfect, Sham. We'll look forward to hear you both, gentlemen. Deepak, over to you. A small little introduction. Deepak, can you hear me?
Okay, 1 second. Can you people hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, amazing. So not sure if my camera is on. My internet is very choppy today. So
I think there's some internet issue. Deepak, maybe once you are going that time, you can introduce yourself. Meanwhile, let's get started then. Suyog, over to you.
Yes, Shahjad. Just a moment. Let me know if my screen is visible to you guys. Shahjad, is it visible to you?
It is visible.
Okay, great.
1 second, I'll
So,
just
guys,
start the timer. 1 second.
this is very unfair that we have to combine our experience in 30 minutes.
I'm so sorry, but into us, that's the reason we bring three different guests and make sure that we get different perspective. Over to you,
No
boss.
problem. No problem. Okay. Thank you, Shahjad, for this opportunity. Okay. So, guys, just to give you a brief, we are going to talk about the partnership program, and we are going to specifically focus on four type of partnerships, which is referral, reseller, technology, and co-marketing. Okay. And this would be a major chunk of partnership for the B2B growth. Okay. Going ahead, if you can see my screen, I would be little bit fast. Okay. Just let me know if whenever you want to stop or just put down your questions so I can answer it at the end. So these are the four type of partnership: referral, reseller, technology partnerships, and co-marketing partnership. Now, what is partnership? So as a company, you get a revenue from multiple channels, which is inbound, outbound, your events, etc. Partnerships is one of them. Okay, and partnership could be effective. I will tell you, but why it would be effective? Because each of this partnership has a different kind of method to implement. It is like it can't be same, it is different. And how I'm going to explain you with the help of examples in my real life, like in my sales journey, how I am like implementing it the different type of partnership which are saying here on the screen. Without wasting time, we'll go to the referral partnerships. Okay. Now, why I will say it as low commitment and high quality is this type of partnerships are from the people who are in your network, who knows you very well. This could be your satisfied customers. This could be your industry consultants. This could be complementary service providers or any professional, like any people in your professional network. Okay. So now if a particular customer is putting up a word for you, then that particular customer's word carries a lot of credibility and trust for any particular prospect, right? So that particular prospect will see कि हाँ boss, इस company के जो भी है CISO, CMO, जो भी whatever product you are pitching in, and you are, so for example, I am from the cybersecurity background and my ICP is CISO. So if any particular customer who is my CISO and that particular CISO is putting up a word to another CISO of a bank or something, that will like that particular thing will put a credibility and trust for me. I have to go and pitch in. That would be effective for me. Okay. Now coming down, ये जो qualification criteria and red flags जो मैंने लिखा हुआ है, this is particularly for the industry consultants.
Sorry to, I think the screen sharing stopped. Correct me if I'm
Now
wrong.
is it? Oh, I
Is
don't
it
know how
just for
it's.
me? Can anyone confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
not
it is visible.
Yeah,
it is now.
It is now. Please.
Okay. Sure. So here, if you can see the qualification criteria and the red flags which I have mentioned, it is specifically for the industry consultants. Okay. Now, how you will qualify the industry consultants is like they should have 50 plus potential customers in your ICP, which your ideal customer profile, and which could be anything like you are pitching a HR tech product, a cybersecurity product, or anything related to it. They should be trusted voice in the community because people should trust them. Then only they can buy from them, right? Because these are the people who will help you in the entire sales journey, right from the first introductory call to getting the PO, right? They would be helping you in each and every stage. Key, for example, the customer is not responding. You will go to the industry consultant, sir, this particular guy is not responding. Can you please check if you can, what happened or something like that, right? And the commission structure is specifically for the industry consultants, or if you are like complementary service providers, right? It is not for the customers, satisfied customer, because the customer is not going to ask you for any particular commission or anything, right? Red flag, competitor जो first वाला red flag है. So for example, why I always promote exclusivity when you are onboarding a business consultant or an industry consultant is, so for example, if you give a proposal and that particular proposal or commercial is on the higher side, and your industry consultant gets to know, yeah, boss, this is on the higher side, but they are also parallelly working along with your competitor, and they pitch on the competitor get this particular thing, like this particular OEM has pitched like 10 rupees. So if you can pitch it like 7, 8 or 5 something, so this is where the deal would be lost for you. Okay. So now this is the overall thing for the referral partnership. It is very simple. You just need to have to look into your satisfied customers network or into your professional network, and you can, like, the commission structure is also very simple. The industry consultants, I hope the screen is visible.
No, it went away. I think your cursor is somewhere where
I think I need to move the cursor always, so that's the issue. Yeah. So the commission structure is for the industry consultant itself. Okay. So this is the first type which I was going to talk about. So this is, you can set up the referral program like this. So you can have a simple agreement with the industry consultant or any complementary service provider you want. Okay. So going ahead, they would also have a partner portal access where there will be email templates or pitch deck resources which they need to pitch into the customers. They will have a 30-minute training session. So whenever they go alone to a customer and they are trying to pitch, they should have a basic knowledge of your product or the services you are selling, right? And you can have a monthly check-ins with them. So like you can establish newsletters or partner calls or recognition program for the partners, which will give them a credibility. Yes, we are partnered with this particular OEM, so to refer you in the market. Okay. Going ahead, our second partnership model is channel sales partnership. Okay. Now, here I have mentioned the word system integrators. Now, what is channel partnership? So channel partnerships is like different types of partners, but These partners, for example, system integrators. System integrators will have multiple OEMs. Like for example, I'm working with a cybersecurity company, which is OEM for the cybersecurity product, right? Likewise, that particular system integrator will have OEM from cybersecurity, but for different reasons, like firewalls, EDR, XDR, etc. Like, so your system integrators can be value-added resellers or managed service providers. Okay. Now, why do I call it as system integrators could be value-added resellers or managed service providers? Is so, for example, if we as a OEM are providing the software which needs implementation going forward, so this particular system integrators can help in the post-sales process, so that the implementation process for the customer is smooth, right? That is why we can call them as a value-added reseller as well. Or that particular software which you are providing needs to be managed for the entire year. So they can also provide a resource who would be managing your software for the entire year. That's the point where that's the overall idea of value-added reseller. Okay. Now, second is the managed service provider. System integrator can be a managed service provider as well. Okay. One of my scenario is one of the partner comes to me and tells me, "Ki Suyog, we want to subscribe your platform, which is into phishing simulation and awareness." So the thing is that we would be providing this managed service to our customer, but it would be a managed service. You won't be directly interacting with the customer, but we will purchase it, and as and when required, we would be running the simulation, phishing simulation over the email or the awareness program for our customers. So that is a managed service for them, for the customers. Okay. Now the revenue model on this particular the thing is 20 to 40% of wholesale revenue of overall deal you can offer. Okay, you can go less or less also. That's not a problem. But the major idea of onboarding this system integrators or resellers is you need to have a dedicated partner manager who will be like researching about who are the system integrators in my region, what are the events which are going on through which I can onboard these resellers. So multiple system integrators which are working with me as my partners, I have met them in the events. So there are multiple events which are happening. So Isoda is one of them. You can take the names and you can also check it. Isoda is one of them. And in the West region, Ariste is one of the event which is specifically for the West region in India. And this events are happening specifically for the partners. You won't meet the customers over there. You will meet the partners who will help you to grow the revenue. Now, this particular partner should also promote your OEM as an exclusive OEM. They should not be tied up with any other OEM and वो competition नहीं होना चाहिए, because that would be a problem for you. Okay. अभी एक basic idea, अगर एक system integrator के पास multiple OEMs है, if there are multiple OEMs with them, वो क्या करेंगे? If they got a meeting, they will go in that particular meeting and they will try to put a word for you that won't be specifically for you, right? So what you can do is आपको opportunities नहीं मिलेंगे, आपको opportunities very limited मिलेंगे. So what you can do is you can create a blitz calling session with them. Okay, you can do a blitz calling session with them, and उस blitz calling session में you can do calling on the customers of this system integrators. On, like, for example, you are doing calling for specifically for cybersecurity solution of yours, like for phishing simulation or for awareness. I'm going and doing. There is a possibility in each particular blitz calling session, you will get 4 to 5 qualified leads because you are sitting in front of them and calling to the customer. Other than your outbound calling, I'm asking, okay? You can go, you can invest 3 to 4 hours of your time. You can train them and you can ask them to call their customers then and there, right? So that would be an add-on for you. Now, how the second possibility of onboarding a system integrator is we take the PO via partners only. आप कोई भी OEM ले लो, आप Microsoft ले लो या कोई भी बड़ा OEM ले लो, they don't do business directly with the customer. They have partners in between. So you can take the POs via the system integrators, the partners. You can ask the customer who are your preferred partners. And जब वो preferred partner बताएंगे, तो you will have a chance to onboard other partners. You will have a chance to go to multiple customers and ask them कि sir ये PO आप दे रहे हो, no problem, but who are your preferred partner? Let me know. एंड वो बताएंगे कि ये है 1 है 2 3 4 जो भी है. So you can go to this partner and you can route the PO. Okay. Now second possibility is to like a credibility भी build होना चाहिए आपके system integrators के साथ, because they should be your friends. Then only they will give you business, right? Without giving, like, without trust, without credibility, without friendship, nobody is going to give you the business. So what you can do is you can route the deal through them. आप परसेंटेज अमाउंट थोड़ा दे दो, कम दे दो, 5% दे दो. अगर वो डील उनसे डायरेक्टली नहीं आया, वो आपका होम ग्रोन डील है, वो आपका सेल्फ जनरेटेड डील है, तो आप उसको परसेंटेज अमाउंट 5% दे दो फॉर एग्जांपल, but you route it via that partner who is giving you business. This builds credibility. यार ये OEM मुझे business दे रहा है, I should do more about this. So this is the overall thing about the reseller or the sales channel sales partnership. Your partner certification उनको एक credibility देगा, of exclusivity भी देगा. Okay. Post selling phase, you can work together on 3 to 5 deals. आप उनके साथ जाओ, introductory call में आप उनको लेके जाओ. But एक बार आपके 3 to 5 deals, if you are done, right? So they should be enabled that much that they can go and pitch at least like 20-50% तो वो आपका टेक्निकल नॉलेज जानते हो OEM का. They can go ahead and they can pitch, right? That enablement you have to do again and again, right? Now this is the overall thing about the channel sales partnership. Technology partnerships. Now technology partnerships is a partnership wherein your product has been complemented by any other product, or their product has been complemented by your product. I'll just give you an example. If you go on my LinkedIn, I was working with Genetrix Technology. Now, Genetrix Technology specializes in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Okay. So Salesforce has multiple products like Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Service Cloud, and Commerce Cloud. So we were specializing in Salesforce Marketing Cloud because we were like a small company, a budding company, like 30-40 people. So what we used to do is, ताकि हमें business आए, so we used to partner with companies who were specializing in Salesforce Sales Cloud, or Salesforce Service Cloud, or Salesforce Commerce Cloud, right? So what was happening is, when we used to, like, for example, we had a Marketing Cloud ke customers, so we were already sharing a rapport with them, so they could come and they could pitch into this Marketing Cloud customers with us, okay? Or we can go and pitch into the Sales Cloud customers. Or if we were getting any new customer, so we used to invite them, okay, sir, if you are coming on the call, we can pitch in both the things directly. And so this would have benefited the customer economically and technically. So both the things, क्योंकि आप एक X amount, आप multiple offerings दे रहे हो, so you can reduce the cost, right? So this is what the technology partnership means. Now you need to identify आपके LinkedIn is the best source. So we onboarded the partners in UK, we onboarded the partners in US who were specifically pitching on to Sales Cloud or other of the clouds, not the Marketing Cloud, because वो same competition हो जाता, they won't have entertainers. So this is the overall thing about the technology partnership. अगर आपका ऐसा कोई product है which you think कि आप कुछ develop करो, for example, you think कि ये develop होने से there would be benefit, this would be complementing to any other OEM or something like that, you can also go to that OEM and you can pitch key. For example, we are developing this API, and this would be add-on thing for you. Just for the example, so we are in the awareness business. We are in cybersecurity awareness business. And for example, if any of the APIs which can help us, so for example, awareness of cybersecurity is very difficult because people don't do it regularly. हमें वीडियो आता है तो हम वीडियो चला के we move ahead. Okay, nobody goes through it or something like that. What happens in this is the cybersecurity team or the infosec team faces a problem. यार हम इतना awareness कर रहे हैं but the percentage is not growing, and the regulatory authorities तो वो justify करना difficult होता है why awareness is not happening, right? So if you develop a API which will help them कि boss अगर आपका हम awareness भेज रहे हैं and if nobody is doing it, you can block their something, like you can block their email ID or something like that. After doing multiple reminders, you integrate an API feature which with their Active Directory and जो आपका block कर देता है, ठीक है? So this will help the this will help the customer OEM to pitch in as a feature as well कि ये हमारे पास है and this particular API is integrated, तो आपका जो awareness आप reminder बार-बार भेज रहे हो and nobody is doing it, so their email ID could be blocked and something like that. This is very like मैं ये just an example दे रहा हूँ. This is not a thing, but this could be a technology partnership as well to pitch in with the actual, like for example उनका Active Directory कोई भी एक XYZ वो 365 का. You can go and pitch in the feature as an API feature with them, right? This is the overall thing. So you need to identify कि आपको टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनरशिप पे क्या करना है. टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनरशिप में आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि सॉरी I hope Shahzad there is time, right?
Yeah, you have 13 minutes. आराम से finish it. No worries.
Okay, great. So in technology partnership, you need to identify who is the company I will go and pitch कि ये feature develop करने से आपको भी compliment होगा and I will also generate the revenue. Okay. Going ahead, last one over here is co-marketing partnership. So co-marketing partnership ऐसा partnership है in which you have the similarity in terms of customers, but you are different enough in terms of competition. Classic example of this is every one of us has gone to gym once in a lifetime, right? Once in a lifetime. So whenever you are doing the gym exercises, आपने देखा होगा कि some protein shake brand or आपका कोई जो I'm not a fan of protein shake, so I don't know. They are coming in and they are putting up the setup and they are trying to pitch into the customers in the gym. That is a co-marketing partnership, right? Because the gym owner has allowed that protein shake brand to come in and pitch into their customers. Because gym owner के पास तो है customers, right? They already are coming in the morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time, and they are coming in, and the protein shake brand is there, and they will pitch in. Okay, whatever benefits they have, like if you consume this protein shake, whatever it is. So that could be one of the classic examples of co-marketing partnership. Okay, so and the revenue sharing, so it would be basically on the revenue sharing model. It won't be an investment upfront कि मुझे इतना invest करना पड़ेगा and then it would be coming back to me. No, it would be on the revenue sharing model कि on X amount of revenue which I'm making, I will give you this 10% or 30% or whatever it is. So so the co-marketing partnership work in that way, and you can also go on a joint webinar. This is for the marketing initiative. Okay, you can go on joint webinar, you can go on co-authored contents, or even co-sponsorship as well. Okay, this will help you to gather be visible to the customers and you can also share their whatever I can say. You can also share their customers, and because that is an established brand and you are joining hands with them. So they will get to know कि बस ये एक new brand है which is complementing this and we should try it, something like that. Okay, so this is a partnership performance which I think so if you can see, so typically the time to first value is time to first, like in how much time you can get close the first deal or something like that, how much resources you need, and what is the scalability scope. Okay, so you can see that referral may time to first value in months is like 2. So sales cycle is 2 months, resource intensity like 3 resources, like 3 partners or something like that, and scalability score is 5. But going ahead, reseller में the scalability score is high. Okay, time to first value थोड़ा time लग सकता है because reseller will have good customers, they will have huge customers, they can also have enterprise customers. Okay, mid market customers also, SME SMB is a different type. So in reseller you need to categorize कि this particular SI or a partner is like they have specialization in what, they have a specialization in enterprise customers, if they have a specialization in SME or SMB customers, or they have a specialization in mid-market customers, something like that. So you need to categorize this. You need to sit with them, which industry you have an expertise in. So you need to do it. You have to invest time in reseller partnership. You have to invest time in with the SIs whom you are trying to collaborate, right? And the resource intensity, yes, 4 to 5 resources if they have in the sales team, it would be great for you. Because if your company is having 2 people or 5 people as a resource, okay, and they have 5 people, so when you are going for a blitz day calling session, a joint calling session, it would be like 10 people who are sitting and calling. Okay, and you can also solve their doubts. And specifically, these leads which are generated, this leads would be specifically for you only, right? Scalability score is 9 because you can onboard as many partners as you want, but you need to invest time with them. Okay, technology partnership, yes, scalability score is good, but you need to identify कि कौन सा ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जो मुझे कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर सकता है, या मैंने कुछ डेवलप करने के बाद ऐसा कौन सा प्रोडक्ट है जो स्ट्रांग हो सकता है, एंड वी कैन गो इन एंड पिच इन डायरेक्ट. ओके, and co-marketing partnerships, you can see the time to first value is different because obviously agar udhar customers hai, like the example which I have given, the gym wala customers hai udhar, unko need rahegi protein shakes ki to repair their muscles or something. So obviously the value, the first deal coming in is very in a very shorter amount of time, right? You can see the resource integrity and the scalability score as well. Now, this is a success metrics for the partnership program. Okay. Now, 25% is the partner source revenue, but I can give you an example. Last year, abhi tak ka data nahi hai. Last year, we were able to close specifically from the West region. 50% of our revenue came from the partnership model. Okay. Referral close rate was high because the customers who introduced me to another customers or prospect, that they were very good. Like they were enterprise customers who referred me, and obviously they unka किसी को मेरे लिए word put up करना was very nice for me because वो already they had an image in the market, and if they are referring me, the other person was already sold. I just have to go and pitch into them. That's the impact of referral, like referral partnership model. आपका रेवेन्यू मल्टीप्लाई होगा, यस 2-3x हो सकता है या ज्यादा भी हो सकता है with the reseller or partnership model, and the customer acquisition cost is low. Why I tell it is low? Because आप revenue share कर रहे हो, आप you are not giving anything upfront to कि मैं इतना इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, like the marketing thing कि I'm investing this so I'm expecting this much ROI. No, 30% of the CAC will be lower because you are just giving on the deal value जो आपका close होगा उसके बाद only. No, you are not giving them upfront कि we are investing this much so it should come back this much ROI. No, you are giving your deal size, so that's not a problem. And this is the last slide. Okay, building your partnership strategy. Yes, you need to start small because you can't go directly and pitch it, because आपका जो product आप sell कर रहे हो market में, आपका selling के time का आपका भी एक partners are not like you go and pitch into any of the partners. There are huge partners. There are big partners. They won't interact with you unless until they see you in the market. They see you ki yes, these guys are interacting with this many customers who are at this level. एक enterprise customers हो गए या बड़े customers हो गए, you have that much logos, then only they will come to you and they will interact. एक partner, there is a very big partner for cyber security in West. It took us close to 18 months to crack and start interaction with their sales team. We तो आपको start करना होगा referral partner से, but you can scale it accordingly. 18 months of time. Why I'm saying is हमने बहुत सारी deals we routed through them. कि boss, we are bringing up these deals. Please give just route. We are not asking anything in return. We for 18 months. This is my personal experience. For 18 months, I didn't ask anything in return. I didn't ask anything in return. I was just saying that कि ये PR है, just take it through you and give it to me. No problem. And I will offer you 5% of the deal size. No problem. Abhi, but after this 18 months, now that partner is like entertaining me into their office and they are saying me कि सुयोग ये हमारे enterprise customers है. और वो enterprise customers are like, when I am calculating in my mind, मेरा कम से कम next 2 years ka pipeline has been sorted with this kind of customers, and that particular partner has a huge credibility in the market. Huge people trust, with blind trust customers ka unke upar. So this is what I'm telling you. You need to add complexity धीरे आपको. You need to go slow in this partnership model. You can't directly go and pitch it to huge partner. You need to grow slow. You need to start with small partners, then you layer by layer you need to add it. And that's when I call it scale strategically. अगर मैंने ये investment नहीं किया होता, if for 18 months I wouldn't have invested in this particular partner, I wouldn't have been able to like get to the customers which they are currently serving. And now when I'm seeing that yes, they are serving this customer, then I can see yeah, mera so next 2 साल का partnerships like पूरा revenue sorted हो रहा है from that one partner. ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं. Just for example, I put it over here. So Shahjad, that's all from my side.
Yes, Yog, thank you so much. I think quite a lot of new learnings for a lot of us, because typically, partnership is not something which typically a AE, SDR or people I know the audience who has joined, we do it. I think I myself have a lot of doubts. I'll ask it in the FAQ, and I think people might have also a lot of doubts. So, stay with us, and we'll come back to you in the FAQ. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Deepak, you can go next, followed by Sham. So guys, before Deepak goes, I'll just give you one small little story about, this partnership. So all of you, I think, know a company called HubSpot. Please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, most of you guys will know a company called HubSpot. I'm forgetting the name. It was Predictable Revenue or Sales Acceleration Formula. One of the book I'm forgetting. So what happened? So this gentleman, the first salesperson who was hired, ended up becoming the CRO of HubSpot, and it's $1 billion company now. Unke company mein, there was a guy just like us, a salesperson who came, who was like what Suyog was mentioning, ki if you have the right partners with you, in less effort you will get maximum output. Yeah, it's the matter of time and complexity how you're onboarding those partners. So this guy came, he said, boss, I've been doing sales for quite a long time. I want to do something new. So the CRO, that the first salesperson who was hired, he said, boss, in order to take up this project, you first prove that you're a good salesperson, complete your numbers. Now this guy, what he did his number, just like any typical AE, SDR would do. And then he was allocated certain budget and a small little team. And he started doing this partnerships. What CEO was mentioning, VAR, value added, resellers, channel partnership, and all those stuff. In matter of no time, that alone vertical started giving them a ARR of $100 million. I repeat, a ARR of $100 million. मतलब आज के डेट में अगर $100 million कोई कंपनी कर रही है, they go IPO or they get billions of valuation. So you can understand how important these partnerships are. Typically, whenever I'm interacting with sales leaders, AEs, or let's just say CEOs or co-founders, in India specifically, we ignore this component of channel partnership, reseller, referral programs, or the strategic partnerships what CEO was mentioning. So the reason of conducting this is that SaaS is this session, the SaaS game is increasing in India, and there are partners out there who does millions of business. Our job as a company, whichever company we are working, is to find out those partners and tie up with them. You never know what kind of revenue. Like CEO said, 2 साल का उसका pipeline sorted hai. Can you understand how, with what peace of mind a salesperson can sleep? Because I have a partner, he's taking care of my pipeline. My job is to drive the deal. Yeah. So when I was reading this book like few years ago, tab meko bhi samajh mein nahi aaya tha. I was also pretty young. So you understand, $100 million HubSpot started making just by doing these partnerships. If you're working in SaaS company or let's just say, technological company, you never know how much potential is there out there for you to generate. Yeah. Fine.
Shahjad, can you name that book once? Which book is that?
Yeah, देखो 2 बुक थी, प्रेडिक्टेबल रेवेन्यू और सेल्स एक्सेलरेशन फार्मूला. एक सेल्सफोर्स के सीआरओ ने लिखा है, एक हबस्पॉट के सीआरओ ने लिखा है. आई एम गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड. आई थिंक इट वाज सेल्स एक्सेलरेशन फार्मूला.
One is?
Other one is predictable revenue. So if you guys are in SaaS, read those the Bible for anybody who wants to build a sales team. Okay, perfect guys. That was a little bit gyan from my side about why partnership is important. Okay, Deepak, over to you. So Deepak's internet is sketchy, so I'll share the screen on behalf of him and he'll do the talking part.
Amazing. Yes.
I'll just pin you if in case you can show your lovely face. It'll be great.
Sure. 1 second. Okay, so it's visible. All good.
Screen is visible.
Camera
yeah.
should be visible.
If the internet is too sketchy, we can avoid.
It's trying to turn it on. 1 second. I'll give a try again.
Where is the cyclone has come? Which part of India?
Chennai. Okay.
Perfect. Yes, we can see your lovely face. I'll be going on mute. Just let me know next, and I'll be pressing the button.
Sure thing. I'll mention next slide. Okay.
Over to you.
Perfect. Hey, hi everyone. Good morning. So I'm super excited to walk you through our approach to achieving partner-led growth, using modern day strategies. That's what I've picked for today. So as we look at the top, 10 partnership solutions for 2025, core focus today is on how to run partnerships on Copilot, right? So everywhere I talk about AI and Copilot, which is coming up. So this is the one which I picked it for today, right? With an emphasis on making these strategies the most implementable for your team, right? That's the primary agenda. Now, this is all about moving beyond theory and focusing on actionable execution. So that is the preface of the entire presentation. Now, okay, so that's it. Let's go to the next slide. Using partner marketplace to onboard new partners, right? So this is pretty much of a big slide that I wanted to talk extensively on. So there are certain jargons which might come in between. So just put it in the comment, like whichever you wanted me to elaborate on. Considering the importance of time, I would just go ahead with the flow. Just let me know if you wanted me to elaborate on something. Okay, so let's start with a foundational element of modern partner-led growth, which is the partner marketplace, right? So we at Sharkterm, what we basically do is we call ourselves as the one-place solution to handle every partner operations or partner-related aspects with respect to our business, right? In today's ecosystem, companies are increasingly moving to leverage their partners, basically whether as channel marketers, SQLs, or co-sellers as their primary channel to distribute products and increase revenue, right? But there's a big elephant in the room. A major failure point for many partner programs is a simple lack of visibility, right? So that's one of the primary things which comes basically is what I believe. And
Deepak, sorry to interrupt you. Deepak, if you can hear me, you can switch off your camera. I think there's a little bit of
right. I'll do that. I'll do that.
Perfect.
Is it turned off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So
Over to you.
Your program is perfectly structured, but if partners can't find you, it becomes completely invisible and it will never grow. Trust me. Now, this is why partner marketplace is crucial. What that active partner marketship is what we'll discuss now. So, which is the first one would be on the multiple, visibility multiplier. A marketplace basically visibility. So when it comes to buyer preference, buyers today are sophisticated, like as I do. Like when I go for a purchase, I go with a very sophisticated mode of purchasing. Now they prefer vendors with visible partnerships. In fact, like 87% of the buyers prefer vendors where they can see who they are partnering with, which speaks volumes about the trust and hygiene this visibility provides, right? Now, next we see about the faster sales cycle. Now, this visibility and trust contributes to significantly lower sales, right? So let's say up to 38% lower. So these are certain factors which I would say makes one look for someone or something called as partner marketplace. Now let's see about the core functions. Beyond visibility, the marketplace is a workhouse for automation. Now it manages the full life cycle from interest to performance. Now let's say it helps with partner interest capture, right, as everything at one place. It implements qualification workflows and establishes clear onboarding pathways for everyone who's involved as a stakeholder. Now, crucially, it also provides unified insights and performance visibility. Now, this covers all partner engagement, performance insights, and gives you a real-time view of your ecosystem activity. Now, this platform is essential. When I say platform, the marketplace is essential for scalable partner onboarding and management. Right now, let's go to the next slide. I wanted to keep it like real short of this slide. So, which is basically when we talk about marketplaces, we are talking about established platforms like Impact.com and PartnerStack. Of course, we believe in the capabilities of Sharkterm as well, which gives you that centralized command. Now, these are tools that enable the scalability we just discussed. Right. So let's go over the next slide. How to qualify or disqualify a partner. Now, this is something which I would say is a very crucial point, when it comes to your partnerships ecosystem. As I be an ecosystem success manager here who manages partnerships as well as ecosystem within Shelter. I've been with multiple companies, so I wanted to just put that as a quick an intro about me. Have been working with multiple companies like Amazon, Freshworks, and few other SaaS companies. So I will drop in my LinkedIn profile, like maybe at the end. Okay, coming back here. So when it comes to qualification or disqualification of your partners, I've summed it up as 3 green flags and 3 red flags. Green flags, first is the GTM curiosity. The partner's focus should be on your ideal customer profile. Now, when you run on a track, it's your partners who run along with you. If you're going to run on a track and they are going to run on a different train, that's not going to work, the way it should work. So first, they should focus on your ICPs, for which they need to know your ICP, not just your commissions. Right? Most of the people just concentrate on commission. No, people, that's on the ICPs. Yeah. The second thing is about, they are interested in how they can deliver value to your customers. That's very important thing. If a partner is only asking about commission, now that's a clean red flag. Now let's talk about the next thing. Complementary motion. Now, their product, which is the GTM strategy, GTM, go-to-market strategy, and regional focus should perfectly fill a gap in your own strategy, right? For example, I've been working on multiple partner companies, say even channel partners, resellers, co-sellers, white glove partners, basically the implementation partners. A great partner amplifies your strengths where you have a wide space. That's how you can complement your motion. The third thing be on the data willingness. Now, they must be open to transparency, which means having a willingness for CRM overlap or anonymized pipe is non-negotiable, right? For building trust and your ROI, which is the return on investment. Let's see about the red flags, which is the disqualification checklist. First, no ritual. Now, they reject a weekly or a bi-monthly thing, which is like a ritual. Now, if they can't or aren't willing to put in the time for continued engagement, the partnership will come about me. Yeah. The second thing would be on the enablement and buy-in. They show no commitment to engaging with your enable assets or training resources. Now, when we come up with a module, which is to ensure there's a module specific for enablement, not just for the documentation of what they have to put in, let's say, form or application legal line when it comes to partner or American partner. It also seals multiple other things. Right? If they're enabled, they can't sell or co-sell effectively. So that's something we need to ensure, right? The third thing would be more open. Now, let's say they are unwilling to establish any form of CRM overlap. Now, as we just established, without this data sharing willingness, you cannot measure the health and success of partnership. Right? It could be even limited access on your CRM. That's absolutely fine. Whether all bound or restricted access, anything could be fine. But some sort of transparency should be a vital sign to have a partnership ecosystem running with a healthy span of time. Right? Now, say, as one say, right, to get, they got to give. So this transparency on the CRM, it's not just from them, it's on the mutual side. So that way it keeps everything on a good track for both of us as a win-win solution. So the takeaway here would be only go with partners genuinely interested in your IT and are willing to collaborate on GTM and data. So data is the key here. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, which talks about what to care for as successful partnerships, right? So on this slide, we outline a top-down and a bottom-up hierarchy of factors for success. Now, factors at the bottom are the highest value drivers you should prioritize, while the factors at the top are still important, but should be considered more minimally in the initial stages of your business when it comes to partnerships, right? Now, let's talk about the top tier. Lowest initial priority. Okay, the one on the top tier is the lowest initial priority. Now, partner policies and getting resources are crucial, super crucial, when they should not be your absolute top priority from day one. Now, get the core strategy right first, right? So that's very important when it comes to the initial phase of things, which is with the lowest priority. And when it comes to the mid-tier, which is these are operational and strategic necessities. When I say mid-tier, okay, let's see about building a team and securing effective buy-in and support. Now, next thing would be having a clear partner strategy. Now, that's very important. Having a clear roadmap for your partner. Okay, when I say partner, like anywhere it may be, so having a clear strategy there will put you in a very smooth pace of things. And building a partner program is very crucial, right? You cannot handle things in Excel at silos at different places. So that's where we step in at Chalkdown. We put everything in to collaborate at one platform for your partner ops. And when it comes to partner operations, partner, recruiting your partners and enabling your partners, everything would be the main pillars when it comes to operational and strategic necessities. Right now, let's see about the last thing, which is prioritizing partners and getting access to the customer base, are all the key for ongoing execution of your business, the partnerships business. Now, let's see the bottom tier, okay, which is the highest priority. That is the actual expectation for any partnership ecosystem. The two things you must prioritize and expect from a successful activated partnership, or at the bottom, which are sourced partner revenue and building pipeline and revenue. Now, that's two very crucial things which has to be discussed when it comes to the actual expectation from a partner ecosystem, right? You must work your way up this hierarchy, which is from minimal priority to top priority. But the ultimate goal is generating pipeline people, right? So that's very important. Generating pipeline and having a steady revenue, something which is very crucial. Okay. Now we are done halfway. I know it's a Saturday morning and chill weather. So, okay, let me give you a hot caffeine shot. Okay, let's keep it really quick. Now, let's go to the next slide. How to make relationships, relationships with partners, right? To maintain a strong partner relationship, we must embrace good automation and avoid bad practices. Avoiding bad practices. Now, you may highlight that, right? So, avoid automating every part, right? You're here to monetize everything when it comes to partnerships, but not every other thing, right? While is great, you should avoid auto-pulling reports from reliable platforms, right? That partners read or use. If a report sends to them, right? So when humans do not use the AI or other tools to generate partner emails, for example, in ChatGPT or maybe any other generative form, just multiple smileys with a check kind of a thing, and that's going to turn people down, right? That doesn't keep the emotion. You know how we talk to people, and that's okay. Down to your emails, that will translate down to your text. And that's the human touch we're talking about, right? Which also thrives on a human connection, right? On a high. Now, you can fully automate partnership, but there will be ways, right? Be a need for that human element, which is a touch of a human hand. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, let's see about the aim for faster enablement conversion, right? At Chalkdown, we concentrate on the 90-day rule. The goal is to give partners an active quickly. 70% of the trained partners should be active within 90 days. Now, I was working with Freshworks. This is the modules for 30 days, then the next 30 days. So that's where it'd be like a trial kind of thing. So we put it in a way that it covers in the entire 90 days, which we call it as the first 100 honeymoon period, which is 100 days of honeymoon period, within which we set up everything for faster enablement for the partner, right? So we are bringing as well. Now, this is especially true if your production or solution is complex, right? If it's going to be a very, let's say, extensive platform on SaaS, now that needs to be taught first to the partners so that they can teach their customers or your customers ultimately. The sooner they are trained, the sooner they can start reselling and generating revenue for you, right? So the next one would be to avoid onboarding optimism. So we are people, optimistic people, when it comes to startups, when it comes to when it comes to ecosystem builders. But that's one side of the business, right? The next side of things is set realistic expectations. Now, do not set expectations that are too high from get-go. Not like, hey, you know what, 100 days. So this is what it is. Sharp on 38th date, we are going to be done with this one. And the next 31st day, we will start this module. No, that's not how it works. So example we often see is, well, onboard 30 partners this quarter, right? And then the reality check is you might only onboard 3. Out of these 3, 1 may disappear and 1 may send leads, and the 1 simply keep asking for MDF, which is the marketing development funds. It's a funnel, people, and you must expect fallout, right? And that's acceptable. Focus on quality and not on the quantity, as everyone say. Now, that's something which is very primal. Okay, so let's do the next slide. I want to keep this slide like really short, which is on the sales, how sales differs in partnerships, right? Now this slide clarifies, how a partner operations, let's say the partner ops in general, framework differs from traditional sales ops, right? While the core concepts are similar, the terminologies and the tools, that shift would be for your reference. You could just have a look at it. It's self-explanatory. I don't want to spend much of time on this slide, but I would be able to elaborate if you wanted me to just talk on certain jargons, let's say PRM, which is the ecosystem tools attribution, basically. So if you wanted me to just talk on or elaborate on something, I can do that for you. Yeah. So putting as a nutshell on this slide, specifically, most critical difference is attribution, right? In normal sales cycle, the lead is often attributed to a single source. In a partnerships ecosystem in specific, a lead might be sourced from a partner, but influenced by another, right? It's not just the partner. The final customer, whom you have on plate, might be the fruit of labor from multiple partners. It's not just one partner. It could be an implementation partner who has went on field and then did the implementation work for you with a local language. Let's say when it comes to South America, you customers prefer people who speak Spanish or Latin, Spanish or Portuguese, right? So that way, it's not just the sellers; it's also the white glove partners or the implementation partners, right? The effective partner operations, using a PRM system, accounts for both sourced and influence revenue for your accurate KPI tracking, I would say, right? So that's something which I wanted to cover on this slide in specific, which is a strong weightage on the attribution. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Just one slide, people. So partnership motions, which every business master is what we're going to discuss on the slide, right? To wrap up our strategy, our strategic overview, right? Let's look at the 4 core motions. Okay. So you talk over on this, like who a referral partner is, what they do, and what it is. I'll just quickly talk about like these parts, right? What they are, what it is. Maybe in a one-liner if you want, and if you can permit. Or if you think that it's self-explanatory, I can skip on to the slide. What you prefer. Okay, perfect.
You can
Let's start with
summarize
partnerships,
this.
right? So what, who are referral partners? Referral partners, they just introduce warm leads. That's it. That's all they do. And how it works, why it works? It's the fastest to activate, and trust is stage programs and for win, right? So that's all about the referral partners. Also, the resellers or channel partners. Basically, these are partners who sell your product directly. No intermediate things. Just you sell it through them. It could be because whatever the reason it may be. They are just resellers of your product. That is it. Okay. Now this motion actually provides a very high and scalable revenue stream by I say, extending your without hiring skill sets. Basically, it's like, okay, you didn't hire your BDRs or SDRs. Seller who is going to team, and you're going to manage sales reps on the seller's team. So that's how it is, right? Also, they are paid on local currency. Of course, everything boils down to money, but not everything. It's ideal for global expansion, or say mid or an authorized selling. So that's how for SMBs thing, it just be most of the time organic lead, which just comes through and few reach outs, let's say an outbound motion, which you can carry forward yourself. When it comes to the integration, which in SaaS we call it a wallet partner. So these are people who integrate with other SaaS platforms. So they concentrate on your product. They also concentrate on the other products, and they probably help customers build everything together in one. Say, platform. And I also use certain products of Freshworks or Zoho. I also use, let's say, an IM tool, which is Slack, or something else, right? So someone who just comes into place, just plug in, and then everything works in at one place, right? Now, these are partners, and they charge specific service, which is like an application service, and that is, right? It's my friend. I'm not sure if I'm still choppy. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
So let's talk some more integration of the technology part. So it runs the product basically. These are the people who are the product usage, and they directly increase your customer lifetime value. Okay, so technically, they step on your get it done, and then solve it, right? It could also but also the post-implementation. This is something which they do. Last one about the co-marketing partnerships, right? Now, these people have a shared branding, not just their product or the other products that they will co-brand your platform, your product, your SaaS product, basically. And how is it done? It's usually done on joint events like a trade show or maybe a breakfast event where there's call of people in a specific pocket, let's say a country like Brazil, next to India, if not the US. So calling everyone in one and then come out together. So that's how it works, right? And this is a huge multiplier, that doubles visibility, I would say, without doubling the spend. Yeah. While it's no revenue share, if you see, and however, it's a marketing partnership. So, way from the slide would be a full ecosystem. Notice, concentrates on the spends, but also leverages next of these motions which we just discussed to achieve different objectives. As we saw, which is the technical on one side, which is the co-sellers on the other side, which is the retailers of the channel on the other side. So it has different objectives, but everything put together, motion. That's how we leverage, right? Okay, let's go to the last slide, which is life cycle partnerships. Right? Now, this is something most shy about. They don't speak about. Any company which focuses on partnerships has to focus on something as a plan B, which is when would our things fail, and what are the things which could, put us right. So we put it like a very, pictorial way or infographic way so that you can understand this better. We need to recognize the typical life cycle of a fake partnership, is what I say. So this picture, this image which is in front of you will tell you the typical life cycle of a paid partnership. Now, let's say a period of first 1 to 3 weeks, right? Which usually be in days, high energy, and then a lot of smiles. Right? That's how it starts, right? And then when it comes to 1 to 2 months, which is basically the 4th week to the 8th week, which a slight drift appears, which is the excitement fades, just like your relationships, and emails go unanswered, and dashboards are unopened, right? It just be like that still. And you will literally see the momentum being lost in this phase. So that's something which is a red flag, which should alert you at this phase. All right. Third would be about the quiet breakup, right? Which we call it the first 3 months, right? The partnership still technically is just like how a silent breakup, the performance doesn't, right? So that's how it is, in the first 3 months, I'd say. The post-mortem is what I call the last phase, which is you learn from this failure, or you repeat the same cycle again with different partners, with different people. So this is how I would just summarize this entire slide, the last slide of the presentation. So what's the key takeaway, people, is to avoid the drift, or be what relationship it is. It becomes more of like a relationship advice, which is it's a bit advice. Yeah? So you must maintain the weekly, bi-monthly goal, which we discussed earlier. You commit to qualification, fast enablement, and also say regular engagement. You can bypass this cycle of bypass the cycle entirely, which is the failure. So that's pretty much about the slide I had on how to run unitships and Copilot. That's pretty much about. Let me know if you have any corner. Towards the end of the call. So that's pretty much about it.
Perfect. Perfect. Deepak, thanks for the brief session. Probably, I think there are certain questions which will come from people. And the last two slides were actually in a very concise manner, what to do and what not to do. Yeah. So please stay with us for the last 30 minutes. Sham, you're good to go.
Hey Shazad, thank you so much. So I'll just share my screen. I believe it's visible.
It is coming. Yeah, it is coming. Over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hey guys, good morning again. So to be honest, Suyog and Deepak covered the topic in kind of, a lot of depth, and they kind of made it really easy and understandable. And that's what, even for example, I have been following for a long time. But as I said, my agenda for today was to kind of, showcase. I was actually going through your portfolio, Shahzad, the community, and I saw there are a lot of people across, as A's, there are SDRs, there's even founders, within your community. So I thought, let's just keep it light, where everybody can understand what and how. And I want to share real life examples of how I did some kind of pilot programs, how I have seen partnership programs grow and impact the entire revenue of the organization. So initially, I was also very skeptical. I was a person who kind of always looked at partnerships in a very different way. Like, for example, as Shahzad mentioned earlier as well, right? People kind of generally go to, I mean, everybody knows these memes, right? Like, people generally look at sales as the main core revenue channel for any kind of organization. But even, for example, companies like HubSpot earning $100 million as an ARR from partnerships kind of gives a significant impact to your overall revenue. I personally saw how when I was in an agri-tech company, there were around 51% of the overall revenue coming, which was around 100 crore annual recurring revenue from partnerships. So that kind of impacted me a lot. I kind of started to look at it in a very different manner, and eventually I also kind of have seen firsthand how you can scale partnership programs from zero, and it can directly compete with your inbound and outbound teams as well. And there are some of the few statistics, as I've showcased here, that overall 51% of B2B revenue comes from partnerships, which was a Gartner statistics. And also partnerships help you kind of to grow your scale 2 to 3x faster, and it helps you reach the depths you couldn't have reached earlier, especially because of the reach partners have in local markets as well. And overall, you spend a lot of cost that is, required to acquire a customer, which is significantly, impacting your overall revenue. Especially if you're a startup, 30 to 40% lower CAC means, significant impacts. Companies like, are in kind of overall expanding on partnerships. And I also wanted to show those stats to you, which is in the next slide, which will give you an idea of why even partnerships, of how you can also enter the partnerships field as well. Generally, I wanted to bifurcate it into why partnerships matter into each role. For example, if you're an AE, if you have a warm intro, you have a higher closure rate, you have less objectional handling, because your partner is along with you. They explain the product to the trusted end client. If you're an SDR, you already have a pre-qualified lead, you have better conversions, lesser grinding, research. They can kind of coordinate with you to kind of set up that initial call. If you're a founder, let's take an example of, you don't need to hire specific salesmen. You can actually onboard resellers at particular locations, and you can kind of effectively save capital. Capital efficient growth is something that is achievable for a founder. If you're a B2C salesperson or a B2C team, you can actually partner with influencers, affiliates, integrations, and that allows you to, again, as I mentioned, reach beyond your audiences as well. So overall, in a way, partnership impacts all kinds of sales roles, revenue teams, and opportunities. So let me try and go to the next slide. So as I mentioned, for me, the goal is to kind of also influence people to join partnerships. So I included this slide today where I wanted to show how many open opportunities are there. These are the data from various sites like LinkedIn, Indeed, job portals, etc., etc. Currently, globally, there are more than 100,000 plus, partnership roles, where around 60K plus are in strategic roles. If you look at it, in India, 26 lakhs is the average CTC for a strategic alliance partner role, which is a significantly good number for all people trying to, kind of get into sales and business as well. So while, Suyog explained a lot about each type of partnership in detail, and Deepak covered a lot about how, a general partnership uh, idea should be, and then eventually he went on to different tiers. I'll also be going through the route Suyog took, and I will explain each of the different types of partnerships, and I will try to explain how it goes. To be honest, in India itself, there are around 5K plus partnership roles open. So if anybody is trying to look out for aspiring jobs, you can actually check it out. And yes, let me just quickly move on to the next slide about referral partnerships. So referral partnership is simple. They refer, you sell, you both win. Here, what happens is eventually your partner knows your ICP. You kind of, they give you warm introductions. They kind of, uh, get off there, and you handle the entire sales cycle. You get paid for, they get paid around 5 to 15% for kind of introductions. And generally, you can find them by kind of mapping it geographically or demographically, where you can kind of, segregate based on the segments, or you can also kind of, uh, reach out to your companies serving your ICP. Like, for example, as everybody mentioned, MSPs. MSP is a managed service provider. So let's say if you are, for example, as an example I've given here, you are a QA automation, test automation product or a software product. You can reach out to companies solving those issues, like, for example, a QA services company, or like a Salesforce service company, Salesforce implementation organization can kind of collaborate with Salesforce to kind of refer new businesses to you, which allow you to reach out to lower depths. And the main focus here is to kind of share contacts and build trusted introductions, which eventually leads to warmer connections and a higher closure rate. So that eventually, as you see, this is what the statistics has proved, that around 40 to 50% it can be a close rate if you are getting a referral, compared to a cold sale cycle, which is around 10 to 20%. Around You can also find these people across, if you do networking events, you go to industry events, and try to reach out to communities as well, so they can kind of help reach out to these particular partners. So for me, these kind of partners are generally, I kind of ideally look like profile them into a certain company size and type. So these are generally consultants, they can be agencies, they can also be like industry association or networks, they can kind of be success teams or sales teams at the adjacent IC companies, they can be company customers if they might not take referral fees. So your exact customers can also be your referral partners. So basically, even the sales cycle in a referral partnership is very less compared to a normal sales cycle, which is around 60 to 90 days for any kind of a B2B SaaS product currently. So here you can see a couple of memes. So I've actually faced this situation where a few of my clients were really shocked by the referral fee they got, that they actually wanted to kind of move on to reseller models, where, as Suyog and Deepak mentioned, it is where the partner team actually also starts selling your product. So overall, from my experience, I have seen referral partners build around 50% of my annual partnership recurring revenue. So that gives me a significant base as well to kind of leverage on why referral partners are also important. Now, at the same time, currently there can be a playbook of how you do. Overall, for me, I generally follow a 90-day playbook, or as Deepak mentioned, a 100-day playbook, where you kind of try to bifurcate it into three sections: you know 0 to 60 days. 30 days is kind of a onboarding section, the where you kind of identify their team, you kind of find sales alignments, you kind of identify who are the prospects you want to onboard. Secondly, you kind of enable them, you kind of send them marketing collaterals, you kind of try to teach them about the product, but not dedicatedly. You just send them the collateral, they do their own research, they try to kind of understand what it is, and then they just forward it to their end clients, where once they get the deals, or once they get an interest from their clients, or it can be their prospects, they kind of come back to us, and then eventually they kind of close, and we kind of take it from there, and how the sales cycles gets completed. Here, around for, generally, I try to keep the pricing and commission models for referral partners around 10 to 15%, as I mentioned. For product companies, I have seen the referral partnership fees go out to around 10 to 15%, and for services, I've seen it go from 5 to 10% as well. And generally, there can also be a hybrid model where you pay a flat referral fee for each referral a client partner gives, and you can add on a certain percentage, which can be around 5% or something like that, for also kind of as a incentive for closing, for that deal to be closed. So basically, that model is actually the one that works the best, but it depends on company to company, and how they want to kind of strategize it. So overall, a global benchmark would be anywhere between 5 to 15% in the pricing and the revenue models that you share for referral clients. Now, coming to the next section, which would be around how your mint, like for example, I'll give you a real life scenario. So there, I used to work in the agri tech manufacturing product. So there, let's say if I had the India geography to kind of cover and expand my territory, if I had to hire 28 salespeople for 28 states, and if I take around 10 lakhs for the CTC of a salesperson for that role, for 28 states, it would approximately come to around 40 crores. That is an upfront cost, and also the time to ramp would be kind of around 3 to 6 months. Now, this is pretty expensive, slow, kind of hard to scale as well. But let's say if you kind of find referral partners who have bifurcated where you have bifurcated individual territories, they know the region's demographics, they know the psychology, they know the local people nuances. Overall, this eventually resulted us in not giving that upfront cost of 40 crores. It has reduced the ramp up time, and overall, we saw a 51% growth in total revenue, and most of it came from partnerships. So referrals can actually be a pretty strong thing if you want to kind of reach out to your lower audiences and deeper markets. This is my thumb rule when I do a qualification checklist for a referral partner. I kind of find these things like, do they serve ICPs? Are they non-competing? Do they have the sales bandwidth? Motivated? Do they track deals? Or and if, let's say, if there are more than kind of 5 to 6 points where I give a yes, then I think I can go ahead for a pilot with that particular referral, and I can see what can be done. Now, again, as each thing has a particular challenge. We have seen that partners in this section, the referral section, have a high churn rate. Every 12 months, they kind of, the partnerships had to kind of, align again to kind of understand what were the initial values that the partnership was set on based on. Partners generally go quiet on 6 months. If you have different commission rates for different partners, your complexity increases. Partners sometimes also, as Suyog mentioned, they sell for competitors as well, so you need to kind of see if they are also aligned with you. Are they partner agnostic if they are doing such a thing, or are they kind of only focused on people where they see a lot of conversions happening? So that is also a pretty big red flag that you kind of have. So overall, the statistics is 60 to 70% of referral partnerships go inactive in 12 months. But this is a very good channel that I've always stood by, and I've actually found success in. So going on to the next section, which is reseller model. So here they are kind of like referrals on steroids. They kind of you don't need to get involved in certain cases as well. They handle the entire sales cycle. They sell, they close, and they kind of close. They take the margin as well. So overall, what happens is your base is increased, your uh, logos are increased, at the same time your effort is very significantly low. So here, as you can read, simply they also handle contracts, negotiation, and support, which sometimes in referrals you have to kind of get in. And basically they are kind of like a brand ambassador for you in the market. They will be your face in the local regions. Generally, I've seen, and you must have also seen in company pages, that people mention them as like, we are gold partners of Salesforce, or like we are platinum partners of AWS, something like that. So people generally bifurcate these into tiers because different resellers have different capabilities and commitments, revenue potentials, and these kind of tires incentivizes growth. Like, for example, if somebody is in the bronze tire generally means a lower level bottom funnel tire, which kind of is like a smaller team, smaller margins. They have a small territory that they operate in, so they want to prove their capabilities. So let's say if they want to kind of expand and improve, they can get, and if they do better in their business, they can have the opportunity to move into a silver tire, which is like getting a better margin, a bigger territory can be assigned to them, and similarly so forth for gold, platinum tire. So basically, you know as you can see, 20% of resellers drive 80% of partner revenue. In fact, reseller revenue, that's why I think even Suyog and Deepak mentioned that resellers are one of your core partnership revenue channels. They kind of bring in a lot of impact, especially for the fact that your customer acquisition cost is lesser because they will be handling the sales cycle, but at the same time they know and they are trained in your product, so they are your face. So they need to be pretty, they need to handle, you need to build proper relationships with them, and you need to kind of give them a proper strength training so that they can represent you the best way possible. So generally, we again, the thumb rule for me is also same for these kind of partnerships in terms of finding them. So you can find them in kind of industry networking events. You can kind of find them from the partner marketplace, which Deepak was mentioning. You can create a partner marketplace. You can add in like a inbound section where you get the details of these people who are interested, and they can also then become a partner page You must have seen it across, in different websites. You can also do direct outreach. That is also another way. I have also, especially in my last organization where I built zero to revenue, I was focused a lot on direct outreach. I have used Sales Navigator. I've used, normal sales techniques to kind of actually reach out to these partners to pitch for partnerships, because that is also a very good channel to get these things. For example, I have for currently, even for this company, I've got around 7 to 8 partners from direct outreach, and a few of them have come from, different website registrations, or like, customer referrals, things like that. So this is how, you can find them. And overall, generally, you have a certain playbook when you kind of, play around with these partners. So as I mentioned, I generally keep a 90-day onboarding cycle, where 0 to 30 days is where you kind of assess the team, you kind of, close your paperwork agreement, identify your ICPs. Eventually you move on to, the training sections, where you kind of teach them about product, your sales coaching, how to kind of pitch it to the customer, what do they ask, what do they say, and you provide certifications, as Suya was selling. That gives them a more branded advantage as well. So, and then after the 60 to 90 days, I kind of try to implement, I try to tell them that you can start off, giving off, or reaching out to your existing client base. That is your first and low hanging fruit. You reach out to your existing client base. Once that is done, you can kind of, move on to the next sections, which are like, your prospects or people who you are still, in discussions. So this again, here you have a lot of trust that the clients have on the partners, and then they kind of, as they mentioned MSP, which is a managed service platform. So MSP plus your product gives product plus integrated solution, that is, something that resellers offer. So they also benefit from it, you also benefit from it. So that is about, a lot of something that, I want to talk about this thing. But generally, as everybody knows, you expect, and Deepak actually, ran through this, so I don't want to go a lot on this. So people kind of want to onboard them, and you kind of expect the resellers to get back to you, but unfortunately, uh, the example that he shared, you have 30 prospects, 3 of them on board, one gives lead, one just goes to you, and then eventually somebody else asks for something else. So overall, I want to move on to the next section, which is the qualification checklist that I have for these kind of partners, which would be almost similar to referral partners. But the only thing is, like, I will also check their maturity in the business. So for example, can they track deals? Have they kind of, uh, have they enough capacity to prioritize you? Are they in, okay with the margin or the tire, like the bronze, silver, gold margin tires that you provide them? Or how you can kind of, basically these checklist points are the ones that I've always followed and have given me a good partner base to kind of, go ahead with when I'm kind of talking about resellers. So channel partners generally drive around 40 to 60% of the revenue in SaaS. And eventually, the basic idea of these partners is to allow them to take ownership of the sales cycle entirely. So pricing models can vary. It can be a margin or a revenue share on your MRR or ARR. It can also be a discounted pricing that you give, and they can add a markup, and they can sell it. For example, if you have a list price of $80 per user per month, you can kind of give at a discounted rate of $60, and then the reseller sells it at $90, so he has a profit of $30, and you get your $60. So eventually your product is sold, you have a better pipeline, and also at the same time your partner also benefits from it. Now, in a way, there are some challenges in this section as well, which was mainly around territory. This is purely my experience. So here I've seen a lot of, resellers focus a lot on territory disputes. There are like, I know this customer the another partner says, yes, I am also in touch with somebody else from this client, so who will be taking care of these kind of discussions. So here you need to kind of properly distribute territory. You need to kind of give priorities to partners based on their experience. You need to kind of also be democratic with all partners in terms of how you want to kind of operate with them. Training generally kind of sometimes becomes complex in case their teams are not understanding, and take a lot of time. They kind of there are payment disputes, vendor disputes that generally also occur, because of the fact that let's say you can pitch or you can close two enterprise deals separately as well, because there may be different teams who want your different products. So in certain scenarios where I had a similar scenario where I had two partners pitching into the same enterprise to different teams, and both of them closed. So the kind of partners had a lot of issues when we did the partner bifurcation, because the deal size of one was bigger, so we gave them a bigger margin. But unfortunately, the other partner had an issue, but we somehow had to solve that. So generally, these kind of issues mainly rise from the poor management you have. So a strong management in terms of building relations and network with your partners is very critical. And that's where kind of I've seen the stat that around 50% of these partnerships fail. Now, as you can see, these are some of the things about resellers. That's why I was focusing mainly on this. But okay,
Just a heads up, last 5 minutes. We can extend by another 2-3 minutes, no issues.
yeah, it's almost done. I just have I'm just sorry, there is some issue with uh, the screen share. Yep. Yeah. So yes. So generally for these tech, now I'll move on to the next section, which is the tech integration partnership. Here, here the simple logic is, you have product A, I have product B. If product A and product B kind of combines, you can create a separate moat, and that kind of becomes a competitor beta. So you kind of solve customers' problem together. Neither of us have the complete solution. So here it's a simple example. To give a simple example, let's take a HR tech solution where a company has ATS and an interviewing platform within its stack, but another company has a background check and onboarding in its stack. So here a company can together integrate these platforms and solutions and create a separate combined solution, and they can go and pitch to the customer. So that way the customer receives one solution, you differentiate from your competitors because you have a combined solution, and at the same time your ICPs are matching. So basically you can reach out to the same customer, you can do co-sell, you can do co-marketing. There's a lot of activities that you can kind of focus on and try to do when you're kind of having this uh, tech integration. The only thing here is you kind of have to involve your product teams, you have to involve your tech teams, you have to kind of involve your marketing teams as well. And generally these kind of partnerships have around a longer onboarding cycle. They generally based on my experience, the tech teams, when you kind of have to include more people into something, it kind of becomes complex, and you have to increase your bandwidth in terms of time. So generally the first 2 months goes in discovering, identifying the technical integrations capabilities, if is it possible or not. Eventually that moves on to kind of weekly syncs. You kind of align your marketing teams, you align your product teams, you align your sales teams to create a joint MCP. You create a joint value proposition that you want to kind of give, and then eventually at around the end of the year you kind of get an opportunity to go live, to do a joint announcement, do kind of opportunities. So for example, Slack and Salesforce integrations kind of created a significant revenue. So that is a this thing. Shopify is like a tech integration partner where you kind of built an entire ecosystem, where again more than $100 million was partnership revenue for Shopify. So that is another example that I wanted to impact talk about. So here you can see most of the current partnerships are sourcing around integrations, you can see, customers spend a lot more in terms of getting us integrated product than bifurcated product. And also, in fact, it saves a lot of cost for the customer. And here the churn is very less compared to your normal deals, and the deal cycles are also faster. Now, generally, how do I try to find these kind of partners? Is I do product research. I go to the uh, I try to identify the ICPs and then go to their websites. They also have a partner page. I kind of reach out to them. Simple techniques to do that. Eventually, you can also have like inbound from websites, or outreach, direct outreach to these people. Like Suya was mentioning, he took 18 months to just have interactions and start these things with his cybersecurity partner. Similarly, this can actually take a lot of time. So generally here, if you ask me, sales cycles go around, once the partnership is done, your sales cycles can be reduced as normal referral partnerships as well, because each customer has their own client base that they can actually refer the other partner to as well. So now, uh, as I mentioned, Spotify had 7,000 plus app integrations. Here there is the revenue share. In terms of revenue share, you can do revenue share. You can initially decide on 50% split, or you can also kind of do co-selling, where there is no revenue share and you kind of earn together, or the team that is together from both companies earn together. You can also do co-marketing, or you can do a mixed, where you have a revenue share plus co-marketing, which is kind of the best approach that people take. Here there are some issues with terms of how you kind of maintain these things. People, different companies have different ideologies. They kind of they have a roadmap misalignment. They kind of some company wants to go in X direction, some company wants to go in Y, so they kind of have a change. Sometimes there might be some lack of go to market execution from one end, so that kind of becomes you know it doesn't inspire the other partner to also put in a lot of effort. So there are some opportunities like that that happen. Sometimes some tech team has some issues, so the entire product stack kind of falls down. So that is also something that is there. And again, I have a qualification checklist. It is very similar to the earlier ones, but there are a few things that like technical integration feasibility. That is one of the biggest thing that is important for this kind of a partnership. Moving on, final section, I'll quickly go through it. So this is again, a go-to-market and a co-marketing campaign that reaches both audiences simultaneously. A lot of companies, for example, I was in a background verification organization. So there we wanted to increase our marketing visibility to our global clients. So we partnered with a global company which was into payroll called Multiplier, and they helped us, do joint marketing activities, which helped us reach a wider audience. Like for example, you can do a joint webinar. Like we did this from hire to payroll, and we got around 200 plus registration in around 50 plus qualified leads from that. There were also white papers you can do. You can also do email campaigns. Those are some of the basics that you can do. And this is how co-marketing or a strategic alliance kind of works. They just the goal of this is to increase brand awareness. If your goal is that, then you should go for this kind of a partnership. So these are some of the statistics. You have 40% lower cost per lead. So that is like, a great deal for, marketing teams. In fact, a lot of marketing teams are also partnership folks who actually call themselves a ecosystem marketing. So this is where, they kind of integrate their tech, or either they kind of, build partnerships and they try to promote each other through marketing. Here, it's also the same. The only thing is it's a 3-month playbook where you do the first month you do kind of alignment, second month you do kind of development, and eventually you do a launch of the partnership marketing activities that you had planned, like the webinars or the campaigns or white papers. Here again, the as Deepak mentioned, there is no direct revenue share, but it's a marketing development fund that you kind of share to each others. So this is how there are few of the industry benchmarks. I'll obviously share this with you. I don't want to go through in depth again. So sometimes there are red flags as well in this section, where you feel that you're putting a lot more effort than the other partners. So sometimes the partners come back saying, hey, you know what, I think you're not helping me enough, or you're not doing a good enough job to do a go to market outreach. So this is an exact scenario of how it looks like, and you can actually experience this as well if you're kind of in this is actually pretty common, because here obviously, as you know, like each company has their own different agendas that they want to target. So it's a common breakup that happens in terms of GTM roadmap. So to be honest, I categorize partnerships into two things. I don't have these four separate tiers. The left side, which is referral and reseller, I call it as channel partnership, and the right side is called strategic or alliance partnerships. These are the strategic alliance partnerships kind of give you good opportunities in terms of enterprise deals and better marketing outreach. The referral reseller partnerships, the partners are focused on earning revenue. For them, the main goal is to get some side revenue or something which is not their bread and butter. But the tech integration partnerships, they focus mainly on expanding, building a moat, or trying to kind of do a strategic partnership. So overall, I also have a table like this, but I'm not going to go deep. But this is also a strategy that I've tried to create, where I've showcased how much percentage of your partners, or like how many partners, in case you have 100, should be from each different type. Based on my experience, I've also given an action plan, some kind of what maturity level your partnership is. So if, let's say, for example, if you have less than 30, if you're starting, if you're kind of having a partnership from 10 to 30% revenue coming from partnership, I'm sorry, then you're in a starter level. So you can kind of increase your different types of partnerships, you can increase your different tiers of partnerships as well. So this is also some kind of meme that I try to add in, but this is the most important thing that I have here. So let's say, for example, this is your guide to understanding what kind of a partner you want. Let's say if you need revenue, you can have a referral partner in weeks. If you have want to expand into new markets, deeper depth, you can go for resellers. If you want to build a moat, as I mentioned, if you want to differentiate your product and kind of have a low churn, you can go for a tech integration with the kind of partner that is there. And if you want to build your brand, you can also do strategic alliance. So overall, partnerships kind of help you do marketing. It also helps you do sales in terms of revenue, and also at the same time, your partners eventually kind of come across and help you out as well. So this is basically it, and I've also created a checklist of how you can start off. So this is what I did, and this is my kind of experience that I want to share. So these things are present. If you have any questions, please do connect, and also you can reach out to me and ask right now. That's it.
Perfect, Sham. Thank you so much. Very elaborative session. And again, all
Yes,
the
sorry for that.
gentlemen had given a different perspective. Some things are common, some things, they do it uniquely. And that's the beauty of, bringing different guests all together. So first of all, thank you to all three of you. Guys, if you see these PPTs and all, it takes hours to build, and all of them were on run into something, and somehow they were able to, complete it. And, it took them definitely 3 to 4 hours to run this entire thing. Yeah. So kudos to their effort. I'll just quickly first, take a picture. Please switch on your cameras. Yeah. If anybody wants to switch on the cameras, I'm just clicking a picture in next 3, 2, 2.5, 2.75. Okay, fine. I'm just clicking a picture, guys. Perfect. 1 second. Just give me a second. Picture is done. Perfect. Next, guys, just sharing my screen and showing you the LinkedIn profile of the guest who had spoken. You can go follow them. You can go connect with them, learn from them, and they are part of the community. The most beautiful part is that you can reach out to them in the community itself. Yeah. So this is Suyog Wagmare, the first guest who had spoken. This is his LinkedIn profile. This is how he looks. You can go follow him. Next guest was Deepak. This is his LinkedIn profile. Go follow him, connect with him, ask all your doubts, make their life hell, but don't spam them. Yeah. Then it is Sham, our last guest. क्या हो गया श्याम जी को? Yes. So this is Sham. Go follow him on LinkedIn, connect with him, and as always, ask him doubts. And this is your host Shahzad Khan, who does these small little catch-ups for you all, so that we learn from each other. And honestly speaking, this particular partnership part, I can tell you, a lot of people might not be even aware of what partnership is, how partnership varies. I myself also learned a lot of new things, and probably plan to implement from Monday. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Before we start the Q&A session, small little. I'm just opening this tab for, I'll count till 20 probably. If anybody wants to give any feedback, you can just scan this, or anybody wants to give any voluntary contribution, again, you can do that. I'm just starting the timer, and post that we'll start the Q&A. Meantime, you guys can, and guys, when we are asking Q&A, ask the question and ask it directly to the person whom you want to ask this question to. Yeah. Last 10 seconds. मैंने 20 मिनट का लगा दिया 20 सेकंड की जगह. But guys, first of all, from bottom of my heart to all the guests and people, great that you come forward. The people who are guests this time might would have been an attendee in the previous session. So it's really awesome to see how we are exchanging ideas and stuffs like that. Yeah. So I'm closing the timer. I hope anybody feel free, if you want to give any kind of feedback or any contribution, this was for that. So I'm closing this. Then guys, perfect. Let's get started with the Q&A. Let me check is anything. So I'll share the post, support and show love on LinkedIn. You also repost, tag the guest, to show them, the love and the effort which they have put, reciprocate that. The recording I'll upload it on YouTube, and the PPTs I'll convert it into a PDF collected from each one of them, sync it together and share it by the afternoon or late evening. Yeah. I'll just stop the recording.